Hello, hello, beautiful beings. All right, so I want to just start off by saying I'm not an expert. I do not trade stocks. I am not involved in the, stock world at all. But my wife is, very much so. And she's kind of been giving me an update about what's going on in the world of finance right now, and it is so freaking exciting. So I'm going to give you a pretty good spiritual overview of what's happening at an energetic level within the finance world and why this is important for all of us to know, whether you are a novice, whether you are an expert. This is going to be really good information to bring you in on the financial shift that's happening right now. What I would say is there is a financial awakening that is taking place as we speak, like literally right now, and it is very exciting. Once again, I am no expert. I will probably get something wrong today because this is not my forte, but it's very clear vibrationally, energetically what's happening, and it's huge. So, right now, the people are taking back their power financially. There are lobbyists, there are hedge fund leaders, there are CEOs, there are the top 1% right now are losing a lot of money. Now, not only are they losing a lot of money, but basically, let's just say it was leaked that they are bullshitting the entire financial industry. Now, while this kind of bullshit is getting exposed, and a lot of things are getting exposed, especially in 2021, as this is getting exposed, the financial world, the stock world as we've known it, is crumbling. All of a sudden, it's kind of like fake news within finance. None of it makes sense anymore. None of it works anymore. None of it is real or legit anymore. But before stocks and finances lose complete legitimacy, the people who are on the bottom, the people who have families, the people who are nurses, the people who are grocery packers are getting involved in stocks, and they're stepping into absolute financial freedom. Once again, I don't do stock trading. It's way over my head. I don't know much about it, but this is what's happening. The people are taking their power back financially. And, I've seen this for many, many years. Financial collapse, financial shift, which is, economic shift, but also religious, also economic, also government. We're seeing some of the systems collapse and crumble. And as I'm observing and taking a look at what's happening with the stock world right now, it's very clear that the power dynamic is shifting. So I want to give you a little overview of a term. I love this term. It's a whole world, okay? The finance stock is like a whole culture in and of itself. Now, within stocks, there is a term called ape, being an ape. Now, this is kind of cool. It's kind of like people who, trade stocks. It's kind of like they are making fun of themselves in this way of like, well, I'm just an ape. I'm just, an everyday person. I'm not a hedge fund leader. I'm not a CEO. I'm not, in the top 1%. I'm just an ape. The ape represents the 99% of humanity. It represents all of us, you and me and your neighbor and your best friend and your mom. Okay, we're all apes. That's the whole terminology behind that. And right now, the apes are winning. The apes are taking their power back with the financial stock game. So basically what's been happening, it's very fascinating, is there's a lot of people coming together online through social media saying, you know what? Screw those guys in the top 1%. They always get all the money. They're always winning. They're always on top. So we don't have all the money to go all in on one stock in order to shift the scale, okay? But what we do have is the people. So if every one of us buys one stock for even $10, we can shift the scale of the financial industry, of the financial world. This is what they have been doing for many months now, for at least the past year. It got started, but it's getting more and more epic. It's getting more and more intense as we speak. So what this means is unity consciousness. People are finally coming together and saying, screw the man, we are the ones who deserve to win. And that's what's happening through community, through conversation, through connection. There is a unity taking place within the financial industry. Now, I've said this for a while, that the top 1%, the elites, the shapeshifters, whatever you want to call them, okay, they don't want money. They want power and control. And the only way that they can have power and control is to continue to separate us into the us versus them mentality. What they are scared of, our greatest asset, is not only just our free will, it is our numbers. We have power in numbers. And what the apes are doing right now, what the everyday Joe Schmo is doing right now, is coming together and basically buying a stock and accelerating the price and benefiting off of it. And this is where you probably have heard about AMC and GME, right? And GameStop, right? This is really what's happening, and it's tipping the scales. And, and these are companies that aren't really doing that great. But because the people came together in unity and said, let's band together and profit off of this, because that's what the damn hedge funds have been doing this entire time, then let's go for it. And that's where all of these other industries are losing money. And on top of that, we've got a cryptocurrency that's starting to become very popular. And all of a sudden, the governments are losing money in a traditional sense. Now, I just want to talk about something else that has come to light recently. It's called synthetic stocks. Or shorting stocks. Now, I might get this wrong because this is not really my field or my lingo, but I'm going to try and explain it as much as I can. I understand synthetic stocks as it's illegal. It's super, super illegal, but it's basically people betting on stocks that do not exist. Now, in my kind of layman's terms, I would say that that's like the government's printing money. That's not backed by precious metal. That's not backed by gold. You're just continuing to print money. You're continuing to be in debt. And that's exactly how I understand synthetic stocks to be. So it's very illegal. Basically, what's been coming to light, and I think it wasn't through the Fauci emails, it was through something else. But basically, it's coming to light that all of these giant companies with lots of money have been betting against fake stocks pretty much this whole time. And that kind of leads everyone who has been in the financial industry, the financial game, to be like, well, screw this. This is all just a lie then. It's all just an illusion. No one's playing by the rules. So we refuse to play by the rules that you created. The people are taking their power back financially. It's huge. It's huge. So basically what's happening with AMC, okay, right now, once again, I don't even know what that stands for. So people are all buying basically AMC stock, and that's driving the price of AMC up, which means that people who maybe put $100 into it are now, couple thousand up or what have you, which is incredible because that's freedom for the people as well. And so, once again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but basically, people are betting against this AMC stock, and it's forcing the hedge funds to basically be shorted. It's called the Big Short. I'm like really bad with this. I wrote some notes down actually. So they are being forced to buy back their fake shares, their fake stocks, their synthetic stocks, and it's just so amazing to see this community come together in unity, in unison, and rise above. So years ago, when I saw the financial industry collapsing, I didn't know what it was going to look like, but it feels like right now there is all of the rules, all of the financial rules that anyone ever learned in school are going right out the window. There is no truth, there is no standard within the financial industry right now, which is a big boom. Lots of people benefit from it. And then I believe, and I will predict it right here, that there's going to be an absolute collapse. Big boom, absolute collapse. Because what's happening with the people and the apes taking their power back is that the big guys, the 1%, they no longer benefit off of the financial industry, off of this illusionary world. So they're going to collapse it. It's got to be rebuilt because everything's getting thrown out the window. And what I'm very pleased to note is not only is everything in the financial industry getting thrown out the window, but the people are winning. They are winning while the financial industry is collapsing. That's the most exciting part, is that it's not just collapsing and everyone loses. The people are taking their power back, which is really, really exciting. The truth is coming out in all of the ways. And I believe that next we're going to see big corruption coming out in the religious sector. We're going to see huge corruption coming out in the political sector of society. And it was so interesting. I just want to mention actually, I was tuning into the energy of Canada, and it just feels like there's so much corruption that's happening here that it's got to collapse. There are aspects of this that have to collapse, but it comes down to the people and the people standing up, getting together. And this is what's happening in Europe, in the Middle East, all over the planet right now. There is an uprising. There is a demand from the people for a better standard of life. Not just food and water and shelter, but also safety and security, also community, also connection, and most of all, truth. And right now, what we've seen in the last 5-6 years, pretty much, since the dawning of humanity, but especially in the past 5-6 years, is this understanding, this standard of truth no longer exists. There is no institution at a global level, in my opinion, that has any sort of semblance or standard of truth whatsoever. We are breaking down the illusionary projection of these systems, and the only reason why we're breaking through is because we're coming together. So if you ever want to ask yourself, what can I do? What can I do to support unity consciousness? What can I do to help the rest of the planet? Ask yourself not how can I support the system, but how can I support the people? How can I support my community? How can I show up for myself and for every other human without discrimination? Without gender or age or race or culture or religion or belief? How can we come together? What are these unifying concepts? Right now, financially, it's freedom. The top 1% has had too much freedom, too much financial abundance this entire time. It's time for us to step up and take our power back. So whether you are involved in the stock market or not, no judgment, I'm not involved. But it's important for all of us to know what's happening and how monumental it is that it's happening. This is just one system in one area, I guess, of the world. I don't know. I think it's maybe global. that, is crumbling. It's collapsing. And death only ever leads to rebirth. I have no idea what's on the other side of the death of the financial industry, but it's got to be better than anything we have ever had. And I am just happy that the people are finally winning. They're finally taking back their power. They're finally standing up. They're finally saying no. And they're finally demanding something more than what we have been given. And with that, beautiful star seeds, beings of light, have an amazing rest of your day. And think to yourself, what does humanity need and how can I provide that? Bye for now.